Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Men Cave. Now your hosts, Ellie Jair and Jay Tilley.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I am Jay Tilley.
Heyo! We are coming to you from the same state that AEW came to you from, and it was an episode of Dynamite that started off. I don't know. What'd you think, man?
So I don't know what I think. Like, I don't have a rating for this one yet. I'm gonna kind of go through as we talk about it and see how I feel about things, because this is 2 Dynamites in a row that have been kind of good, he says, like a question mark.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
There were things I, like, absolutely loved, and there were things that were like, man, that's, like, good old AEW, sprinkle the seeds kind of booking. Then there were things I'm going, what is this shit on my AEW television? Like, why are we suddenly WWE? I don't understand. So
yeah, when they were one of the commercials for All Access came on, and it was, so they go through the usual, the Ty Conti and Ruby. If this happens again, we're gonna have a problem. And then it shows Britt and Baby in the back, and then it cuts to Tony Khan, and you see, like, between the curtain, and it's, my hands are apart probably a foot and some change. And he goes, "Hey, it's all about sports entertainment." And I'm like,
yeah.
And my jaw just dropped. And I was so distracted for the rest of that commercial.
Yep.
And yeah, it would, like, just like you said, I think I know how I feel because it's AEW, and it's like going into a restaurant and you order the meal that you always order at this specific restaurant, and they bring out a plate and they tell you, "Here's your dinner," and you're like, "Well, wait a minute, it's not even the same restaurant plate." Like, so yeah, it was a little confusing, and I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know how to feel about it. I have a rating, but yeah, that's funny. You were stuck in wrestling bliss as well.
Yeah, like, my rating is bouncing. Like initially I watched it, I'm like, oh man, it was this, and then I'm like, no, maybe it was this. So I've got an idea, and I'm going to kind of see where we end the show at based on how we go through it. But fun fact about the arena they were in, one, it's like 5 minutes from where I grew up, so I know that place well. And as they were building that,
that's cool.
When they were building that arena, we used to sneak in there during the construction phases when they were making it, because it was they built it for the Florida Panthers. So we used to sneak in there all the time and run around and get chased by security. But it literally is like, I don't know if you've ever been down there, but it's a really nice stadium, but there's like housing and an apartment complex around it. We were literally like one of the housing places right there. You could see it out of our window when they were building it.
Wow.
So I knew that arena very well.
That's cool. Yeah, when I was stationed in San Jose, we stayed in these apartments because we couldn't find a nice house to rent, and we didn't want to live on the base at the time. Basically it was the NASA center where Mythbusters was filmed. So cool. All those wind tunnels and stuff, that was Mythbusters. And when we moved in, I didn't even realize, there's all these sports around because it's San Jose. So I was like, oh yeah, we got the Sharks, and they had the Sabercats at the time because of the arena football. And I come walking out, and Coden is standing there, and he's like, "What's that?" And I look out, I'm like, holy shit. It's a fight between the 49ers and the Raiders because their training facility was right behind us. So, and then just on the other side of that was where the San Jose Earthquakes played. So I had the soccer team. We had the hockey team downtown, And then we had the arena football, which was in the same arena. I think it was the HP or anyway, but it was it's funny how you're like, oh yeah, I never saw one get built, so I think that would be really cool to see, from the hole being dug to the foundation to now you're driving in going, God, I remember when this was all just dirt. And
yeah, I went and saw Metallica there, and I was like, I think that was the first. Well, I went to like the opening game of the Panthers. Matter of fact, I've got a jersey somewhere signed by all the original Panthers team.
That's freaking
every
cool.
single one of them signed the jersey, like the inaugural team. I've got it hidden somewhere. I've got to find that before.
That's
I hope it's not in the
pretty
garage.
freaking cool, yeah.
Eaten up, because that'd be cool to put up here in the man cave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the inaugural team, and then we saw like the inaugural game. Yeah, it was a nice arena. We like they showed it on TV. I'm like, there's my apartment.
Yeah, I got to see the first game that the Texans played. They came and played the Chargers, and they Junior Seau throttled Carr. I think it was Derek. Like not just Seau, but like 8 times they sacked him. It was terrible.
Wow.
Like every time you looked, his feet were up in the air. Like, dang, dude. So, but yeah, sorry, trip down memory lane. Get it back in the box. They came to us Sunrise, Florida, I believe, near Fort Lauderdale. And the crowd seemed into it, and then the introduction hit, and they were like, I don't know what to do with my hands. They seemed really confused, even though it's a hall. Like if Ring of Honor had a Hall of Fame, I would venture to say Bandito would be in it, because he cut his teeth, did a lot of really great stuff. He was a multi-time champion, and a majority of the crowd was just like, who's this dude? And yeah, so Orange Freshly Squeezed there really carried, got the crowd going. And
that's how we opened, was the Bandito Orange Cassidy match. And I kind of noticed that too. I thought it was odd Bandito wasn't getting a big reaction, because other places he's come out, he has.
Oh, yeah.
But that also kind of fed to the match itself, because this match did not live up to the expectations I had for it at all. I was expecting, I guess, I don't know. So Orange Dynamite obviously is a level above when it comes to wrestling when I watch, WWE usually. Like, I know I'm going to get a little better wrestling. Orange Cassidy specifically, I know I'm going to usually get a really, really good match.
Yep.
This one, it was good, but it wasn't like as great as I thought it was going to be. And actually, it's funny because I can say that about a few things throughout this show. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I liked the match. There were some clunky parts in it, and I don't know if it's just because maybe those two just don't have good chemistry. Although the interactions they had later on in the show, they did seem to have good chemistry. So it was just a very interesting feel to the whole thing, because there were some decent spots, like Bandito with that suplex he did with one arm from outside the ring to the top rope, and just it's just amazing stuff. And Bandito can go, but it wasn't the hottest opening match. I'm not saying I hated it by any means. It just wasn't. It wasn't that, this is gonna be a good show feeling. It was like, this is gonna be a good show.
Did you feel like watching the match, the crowd made you feel a certain way, or didn't make you feel a certain way, or was it just you as a fan were like, this match is whatever?
Probably just me as a fan. And maybe the crowd affected by the crowd, unless I'm there live, that I've noticed. So I may be wrong. Maybe that is part of it. Maybe it is because the crowd was not as hot for it as I thought they should be, and it kind of rolled out onto me. I'm not sure. I mean, the match was decent and ended up with Orange Cassidy winning with the beach break. I did think it was interesting that Bandito kicked out of the mousetrap, because not many people do that. So that's kind of a protected pin for Orange Cassidy. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, what did you think of the match itself? Did you have any?
I felt like it was a fun match. Maybe, once I felt the crowd, like everybody sat down and like started messing around on their phone is what I kind of felt like, because the crowd got really quiet. And it wasn't until later on I was listening to another podcast. Tommy Dreamer was talking about it, and he came out and said, I probably would not have started the show with this match. The crowd didn't know who Bandito was. Their loss, unfortunately. But at the same time, I was like, okay, they're not. I felt a lot better, because instantly I was like, okay, they're not going to play to the crowd as much like what they have done the last couple of episodes, where it's all just been like just the house show when they were in Britsburg, and then when they were in somewhere in the wasn't Chicago, Nebraska, maybe wherever they were the last show. It was like they just were like pinpointing those 10,000 or less people instead of the 900,000 watchers. So I felt like the show was going to turn though. So I was like, okay, cool. And then the spot at the end when he put the sunglasses on him, I was like, all right, this is cool. A little touch of the Ring of Honor where they gave each other a little respect. So yeah, so he pops the sunglasses on him. Really cool. And then they cut to the back, and I was like, okay, cool. And Renee Paquette killed it tonight. Freaking killed it. The RJ City and Renee Paquette have awesome chemistry.
So you're talking about the Adam Cole segment. So we go to the back, and Adam Cole's talking. I'm gonna get Jericho. He's on my hit list, and I'm coming after Jericho. Cool. I thought that was good. And then just in that bit of Tony Khan brilliance, Orange Cassidy and Bandito walk up, all out of breath. Oh, you want to interview us?
Oh my
and she's
God,
like,
that was so funny. That was so
no,
funny.
I just interviewed Adam Cole. And she explains what happened to Britt Baker, and he goes, oh, and then he walks away. At first, I'm like, okay, a little humor, whatever, like, haha, like something bad happened, laugh about it. But we find out later that no, it kind of sunk in. And it meant something. Like that little piece means something at the end of the night, which I thought was fantastic.
And then Bandito walks up to Renee and goes, oh,
Yeah,
and walked around like,
yeah, he goes.
So I was like, man, Orange Cassidy now is part of Best Friends, and Bandito is now his, like, I don't want to say protege, but, sort of going to give him the rub to the AEW faithful, and hope, that'll absolutely help his stock with AEW. And I don't want to say, like, how Jarrett and Lethal and that whole cadre is sort of helping Briscoe, but it's expanding his character, so it's introducing him to a whole new group of fans who don't necessarily know who Briscoe is, because ROH was so hard to find on normal television, and YouTube wasn't what it is now. ROH was grinding. So,
And speaking of Jarrett and that group, we then roll right into the Dax Harwood Jeff Jarrett match. Another one that I had high hopes for.
Oh my God, I was like, oh man, I am giddy like a schoolgirl. This is going to be awesome. They are going to put on a clinic.
Yeah, and I didn't think so. I thought it was okay.
At best.
And no disrespect to Jeff Jarrett, no disrespect at all. But if this would have been Dax Harwood versus Jeff Jarrett 10 years ago,
oh my God,
man, it would have been a banger. But I almost think that the type of match they tried to do, I don't think Jarrett could keep up. I mean, he's almost, he's 55, 60 years old. And I kind of got the impression that he was getting a little slower step. And they did the match, I don't know, it just felt clunky. There was some good stuff in it, but it just felt a little clunky. Which doesn't give me well, actually, I say that I think the tag team match will be fine because Lethal and them know how to do tag teams. So I just think it kind of exposed Jarrett a little bit. And I think it exposed Dax a little bit too. Like maybe he's not as good at carrying a match as we think he is, as far as the singles match goes.
Yeah, you talk about tag team wrestlers, and you think back to some of the great tag teams that we've seen, coming up. The fabulous ones when they started talking about breaking up and going their own ways, they quickly got back together. And then you had, Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall. That is an absolute anomaly where you take it two guys that are a phenomenal tag team. They were the AEW tag team champions, and they separated, and they both went on to have Hall of Fame careers. And Kurt Hennig was a multi-time AWA champion. And then obviously the most famous with WWE breakups was Marty Jannetty and HBK. Marty Jannetty never went on to have any single success, or even with another tag team partner, it never really panned out. So they're absolutely, or even with Booker T and his brother Harlem Heat, and Booker T would go on to become a 5-time world champion. I believe he was a Grand Slam champion. No, he never held the Intercontinental title, but a multi-time champion with WCW, that beautiful world television champion, the awesome United States championship. But yeah, like you said, it was not to shoot down, their greatness, but, as a tag team, FTR.
One of the tops, yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, to his credit, he was smart to hitch his wagon to Jay Lethal because Jay Lethal can carry a match when he gets gassed. And, Sanjay and the team can be the comic relief outside or the heavy, if he... dude just like puts his arm up and his hand is higher than the top rope. You're like, bro,
yeah.
You are a monster. So, yeah, I agree with you. Like when they did that backslide and it took Jeff Jarrett and Dax like 2.5 minutes, like 2.5 minutes to get turned around, get their win, stand up and look at each other. I was like, looks like me getting up in the morning because my feet are all jacked up trying to take the first 5 steps of the morning. Click, clack, click, clack.
Yeah, it's me trying to stand up and I'm all hunched over like the Hunchback of Notre Dame until I could stretch everything out and stand up. So, hence the reason I'm not sure how to grade this, because this was 2 matches out of the gate where I was like, ugh. But we had the really good stuff between the first match and this with Orange Cassidy. Then we had something else that I think is amazing, and that was the announcement of the Owen Cup. I'm wearing my Owen Hart. Totally coincidence, by the way.
No, so I thought that was, the reason why.
No, I just thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up while we were at work because I wanted it, to be part of the show, and I totally didn't even realize that it's been a year.
Yeah, so the finals last year ended at Double or Nothing, which I think is awesome. They're going to do the opening ceremony. Yeah, so the announcement was opening ceremony, and then the entire tournament's going to take place in Canada.
That's cool.
Beautiful. Beautiful idea.
Very sentimental, very meaningful. It means a lot. One thing that I would really appreciate as a wrestling fan is, for the longest time, Nick Aldis carries and is a holder of what's called the Heritage Championship. And he was defending it all over Canada. And if he could somehow be involved in that tournament, and he's signed with Impact, so I mean, they have a working relationship. You haven't seen any AEW on Impact for a minute, and the relationship that they had wasn't very mutual. It was more one-sided for AEW back then. But if Nick could somehow be involved, but I'm excited. Like I hope they use this opportunity to boost some of the younger talent, give the ultimate rub. Not that I don't want to see like Orange Cassidy and some of those guys in it, but use it like what they did with the Mae Young Classic for women wrestling, because I think that would be awesome to get some of their wrestlers some ring time and really show their wares and show out, get some indie guys on there that are trying to get themselves over and get a contract. Not that someone said that AEW has like 150 people signed. Arn Anderson said that when he was like, not that, the 150 guys in the back, you're like, whew, that's a lot of dudes.
One of the things you did say, which I thought was a key point, and I love that they stressed it, is that because I like that they can use the Owen Hart stuff from New Japan because they can't use the WWE stuff. So I love it. And I love that he specifically said this tournament will feature some New Japan people.
Cool.
So I'm like, that's cool, like leaning onto his New Japan stuff. And, he even said that 1 or 2 of the matches may take place at Forbidden Door. And I'm like, I just hope that it's not such a, and I think I said this on a previous podcast, I don't want it to be such a clear-cut winner. Like, I want to go into it going, ooh, we're getting Kenny Omega and, Kenny Omega's let's totally exaggeration, but we're getting Kenny Omega and Moxley in round. I don't know who's going to take that. Not that that's one I want to see, but that kind of thing, like those kind of matchups. Let's say maybe Orange Cassidy and Pac, right? Like both of them could go over. Or Will Ospreay and Dax Hardwood.
Oh, man.
2 guys who either one you'd like to see win, but it could go either way. I hope they do those kind of pairing. Like almost to where they literally put the names in a hat and randomly pull them out and go, all right, these are pairings. Here we go. I don't think there's nothing to the fact that the finals is going to be in Calgary, Alberta. Also, the date of that show happens to be a Saturday, so I'm assuming it's going to be Collision. So that'll be a big Collision thing. Do we see Punk in the tournament? As a big Bret Hart guy? Do we see Bret Hart show up and announce for those matches? Which I don't think he can, because I think he's on a legendary contract with WWE.
There would, Yeah, there would have to be some kind of loophole like, hey, you get paid X amount for 365 days. We're going to take $1 out of your check.
Right.
Or something. Like, if they have to be a dick like that about it. But
I mean, he wasn't the last one. He wasn't involved in the last one at all.
yeah, that would suck.
But I mean, so there's stuff to that. And I mean, what if the final is the match we keep hearing about, which is Jericho and Punk? Like, that'd be a good final. Although I think that's going to go, I think that might be an all-in thing. But yeah, I thought that was a great announcement. I think if they do the tournament right and they do it instead of just pushing the it couple and actually do a good tournament where like maybe like Willow Nightingale win and, you know, Andre, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
You know, Ace Andretti. Some people that we don't necessarily see winning could win. I think it'd be really good.
I'd like to see some wrestlers that really, you know, really are coming up. Maybe not the Billy Starks, but like, you know, on the ladies' side, like an Anna Jay.
Billy Starks would be really good, actually.
So like Anna Jay, she's had a bunch of matches. Blue Steel, you know, they've had a bunch of matches. They've had some success, and they
You mean
peak
Sky
at the
Blue?
What did I say?
Blue Steel. Isn't that Zoolander?
Wow, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
The Blue Steel look. So for those of you not watching, we just both did the face on the YouTube show.
Freaking Zoolander. School for people who don't read good. So yeah, I think that would be
They're dancing in the gasoline. Sorry.
And he's slapping they can't get the information out of the computer. I think, yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to really do some really cool stuff. You know, what if, you know, there's a free agent out there
Yep.
who ends up coming in and goes, hey, I'm all elite now. I wouldn't want to see Jay White win it because I think I'd
like to see him in it, though. Put him in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that would be fun. Get him a couple of rounds, get some great matches with him and, like, Orange Cassidy, or him and Styles make fights like Will Hobbs
Him and
or
Pac.
something.
Or
him and Pac would be fun.
him and Hobbs would be good too. Him and Phoenix, or you know, there's
think
quite a few people.
I don't think Phoenix is going to be on TV for a little bit.
He's hurt.
So I don't know what ROH is going to do with that tag team championship either. So that's another thing to keep your eye on with some of the injuries coming out of one of the tapings. There were a couple of injuries, and notably was Ray Phoenix, and Penta has been doing a couple of things on the solo circuit right now. So quick healing up to my guy Phoenix, and
dude, that guy can heal fast though. Were you into AEW when he did that funky landing and totally broke his arm, or we thought broke his arm, but it was just a sprain where he landed and it totally. Oh, that was almost as bad as Top Flight dude breaking his ankle the other day.
Man, that's.
And then next thing you know, he comes back like it was no big deal. Like came back a lot quicker than I thought he was going to come back for that one. So as we move down the card, we now have Wardlow in the ring for a quick squash match. Not even going to go through the match. It was like 30 seconds. I think.
You hit him with the symphony, and we're done.
Yeah, very quick. I absolutely love this Arn Anderson Wardlow pairing. I think if you look at Wardlow, he loves it too, because I noticed like just his ring work last week, his ring work last night, and like the look in his eyes, and like he feels like the Wardlow they pushed the first time. And he's not always great on the mic, so I think giving him a fantastic mic speaker is going to do wonders for him. And yeah, Arn Anderson cuts that promo about I picked you because you've got what it takes, and out of all the people in the locker room. And then your boy's music hits. Christian Cage comes walking out with Luchasaurus, and yes, please sign me up for Luchasaurus versus Wardlow.
Yeah, I still cannot stand that freaking mask. It's
I was really hoping when he got with Christian, he would drop the gimmick and just go to back being, I think his name's Adam, or I don't remember exactly what his name is, but yeah, go back to being you. But he likes the gimmick, whatever.
Yeah, that mask, like, and maybe like if I were a fellow wrestler, he goes to do his little T-Rex kiss or whatever he calls it, that little headbutt thing.
Yeah.
And those horns, and just the look of it just seems like a step above the Voltron or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, I agree too. I thought he'd come out, Christian Cage would suit him up and put the Captain Charisma on him, and smooth him out, give him a new gimmick, and
especially with the lawsuit stuff. I thought the lawsuit would be a perfect way to come out and go, okay, we're completely repackaging. But I mean, if he doesn't want to do that, maybe it's because he doesn't want to be as like seen outside of, he doesn't want to be that guy that's mobbed in the restaurants or whatever. I don't know. Not that he's that famous, but you know what I mean? Like keeping on that, I don't know. Maybe he's secretly a school teacher and doesn't want his kids to know. I don't know.
I don't want him to be distracted when I'm trying to teach him algebra.
Yeah.
What is the
My dinosaur
denominator?
mask.
What is the denominator? Excuse me, Luchasaurus, sir?
Yeah.
It's Mr. Saurus.
Did it hurt when you took the chair to the head?
Yeah.
But then you already mentioned we got RJ sitting in the back. I don't even remember what he was going to say because just Blackpool Comic had jumped him. BCC jumps him, says they got business tonight, and then walk off. Good stuff. I like seeing RJ City more on TV, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he's funny.
Then we get the then we roll into the Guevara Darby Allin match. Well, before that, we get a couple talking points, and I want to make sure I hit these. So you've got Darby Allin with Jungle Boy and talking back and forth, and he kind of says, "Hey, I'm sorry the way I've been." Darby does. I don't know. He kind of backs down some of the things he said and the crap talking he did. I don't know. I need Darby to sit down and do the promos he did the first couple times. This interaction with these two is not there. And for the 4 pillars, there are 2 of the pillars that are excelling and the other 2 that are, to me, falling by the wayside. Because right after this, we get MJF and Sammy Guevara with Renee, and I lost it. I thought it was
oh my God.
So good.
I was like, did they just kiss right now?
Oh my gosh.
And they were kissing each other on the cheek and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. And I mean, deep down inside, you already know how this is going to go.
Yep.
You know, he turned on Cody. He turned on Jericho. He's talked about how he never had anyone. Evidently, he threw Liv Morgan in the driver's seat
Yeah.
or, whoever it was. There was a crime committed. So, yeah, I think, it wasn't until a little bit later where you could sort of see the, sort of the dissension. And then during that match, Guevara kept making a comment, and I was like, I wonder if MJF's going to make a comment about that. And he never did. So he just kept saying, here's the main event. Here's the main event. But Sammy kept saying, your next world champion. And I was like, there's something to that, sir. So, yeah.
I love the, hey, I got you a gift. Oh, I got you a gift.
Yeah.
And then, like you said,
Yeah.
best friends don't shake hands. They
hug.
When Sammy kissed him on the forehead,
Yeah.
or I think it was MJF kissed Sammy in the forehead first, and then so Sammy's like, wait, I'm going to do that too. Like, I totally think that was ad-libbed. And then when they hugged and Sammy kissed MJF on the cheek, and then he turned and kissed him, I'm like, that was totally, that was all them having fun with it. And that was such a great, just a great interaction with the two of them. It totally lifted my spirits. And again, another of those high points that were between matches.
So if you were a superstar over in WWE, now Impact they get talking points. NWA they get hey, mention that we're gonna do a YouTube show in Tennessee or something, and that's essentially all they get. Now, granted, NWA, they don't have the same entrances. They don't have music. Impact, they have a smaller house when they do their events. Most of the time, they're smaller. They have sold out like 10,000 seat stadiums and stuff, and they did back-to-back sold out nights too in Nevada. But if you were a superstar in the WWE and you're sitting there watching TV and you're watching that, are you thinking to yourself, son of a bitch, I want that. I want to be able to be me, and they're using a character. I want to be this character on TV. I don't want this scripted, the fans sitting down because they want to be polite wrestling or superstar, performance and sports entertainment.
Yeah, I want to have that creative freedom to be myself. Yeah.
If I were a superstar, I'd be like, whew, my contract is coming up and Tony is always hiring. There is a really good chance. Because I can imagine, so Drew had a little bit more freedom when he was the champion during the COVID era. And he's got COVID stank on him. And that title reign wasn't what it was. And I honestly hope he doesn't leave the WWE because I want him to have that WrestleMania moment because he was the champ and did some really cool stuff. When he won the championship, it was recorded 2 days, I think it was 4 days. It had been recorded for 4 days, and he was sitting at home watching, and he didn't bring the title out. His wife knew and all this other stuff, but he didn't bring the title out until after the match. And it really hit him when he was watching and he was holding the championship. And if I were a superstar and maybe McIntyre's like, you know what, I'm not going to get a WrestleMania moment because I'm just not. And
he's mid-card now, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't give me the Intercontinental Championship. They gave it to Gunther. Gunther's going to go in and drop it maybe in a three-way, just like Theory's going to drop it in the three-way. And but like back to the bring it back around, do a wrap around.
At least it's not a reach around.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. I would absolutely, if I were a WWE superstar, I would hit Trip up and go. Like if I were in a certain mood, I would go, Trip, it's me. I need some freedom, man. Send me down to NXT, put me on Superstars, or I'll go on the tour in England and do house shows where I can be myself. What do you think? And he'd go, time to play the game. Hey, you're going to be in the main event or whatever, just to like pacify me. But yeah, the freedom I think would mean more to me than it would, anything else.
And it's interesting because it goes both ways, too, because then you look at, again, Darby Allin, who I think is getting some freedom and he's not doing good with it. And I almost think without Sting kind of in his ear, hey, this is probably what you should do. He's floundering a little bit. So he would almost benefit from, here are your talking points or here's your script. So it's interesting. Like it goes both ways, too. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to see Darby Allin in WWE or I want to see Darby Allin wrestling WWE style matches. But he might benefit for their promo styles. So who knows? But then we have the match. Darby and Guevara. Man, they put on a show. What a show, man. The 360 off the top through the table on the floor. The Spanish fly off the top rope.
That is
it was great.
That is an unbelievable move.
Every time I see it.
Man. So like I watch and think about everything from how the crowd is responding, how the picture-in-picture is during the commercials, what their gear is like, how they come out. I think it's interesting that his wife doesn't come out all the way to ringside because it seemed like she used to and now she doesn't. And, like his hair used to make me bonkers. I'm like, dude, you got to get a better fade. But like the character.
He looked like, what was the dude?
You never go full retard, man.
Yeah.
He looked like, so I was like
the guy from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. And, but I was just sitting there thinking to myself, this dude looks like a champion. I don't want to see him with the TNT title anymore. I wouldn't mind seeing him elevate the tag team championships. And he's probably a year away from being the world champ. And at a certain point in the match, when they were doing a little bit more of the groundwork, I was like, dude, I would not be mad if he was the one that defeated MJF for the title, sometime next year. And then I think, well, I'd kind of like to see Danielson win it, or, I don't think, and like you said, okay, here's the talking points. There's the camera. Go make money. Guevara, cha-ching. He's cash money all day. MJF, cha-ching, cha-ching. He's cash money, crypto, and bonds. And then you have, what do they call him? Jungle Jack. He's like, well, here, let me float you a check. Just don't cash it till Friday. It's just like they were sitting there looking at each other. I'm like, say something, do something, like, give me something. And then depending on the day of the week, hey, I don't get paid till next week. You get, you get what you get out of Darby Allin. But I totally agree with you. I think he probably needs a pep talk every time he goes out into the ring.
Yeah, it completely, it shows you the pillars. Now, this is just promo work, by the way. I'm not talking in-ring work, because I think all four of them are top tier, top of their game level for in-ring work, but definitely can tell Darby and Jack need a little more time with mic skills, or send him to Bubba Ray's promo class or something. Just give him some work. But I also like the Eddie Guerrero finish, the DQ. So you get Ty Mello comes down and distracts the referee and me.
And me. Yeah, I was like, hold on. Wait, what just
pause.
happened?
Is that Ty Mello?
It.
Oh, wait, let me back this up. Yep. Distracts the referee. So then the referee's distracted, getting her off the thing. You hear thump, and he turns around, and Darby's got a skateboard in his hand, and Guevara's laid out. And here it is, MJF to toss the skateboard in the ring. Fantastic. Great Eddie Guerrero finish. So get the DQ, and then we get the announcement that next week, based on the way the both of the matches went, that we were going to get a tag team match, and if Darby and Jungle Jack win, then it's the Fatal 4-Way. So why do we do all this? We knew we were going to get the 4-Way anyway. Let them cut their promos, throw them in some matches. This tournament was stupid, in my opinion. It was a big miss on Tony Khan's part, in my opinion. You could have just thrown the matches together. Why set up this fake tournament with the DQs? It overbooked it. Just let them have their promos.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was like I don't know, maybe he was on a plane ride back from somewhere, 3 months ago, and he's like, so building up to the pay-per-view, I'm going to figure out how to do, so I'm going to need a main event, and MJF is the champ. What am I going to do? Okay, so he back programs this, and he's probably like, man, my jet lag was really bad. And so I think, as a slowly becoming a faithful AEW fan, I trust that, he won't make the same mistake twice. He seems to be learning. The whole the whole company seems to be learning every day now. I didn't have one single problem with any of the officiating. I didn't have any issue with like outside the ring when it used to be like 3.5 minutes outside the ring. Commentary was great. Tell me Tony Schiavone did not love telling MJF,
"Shut up, you prick."
You prick. And MJF's character work and reaction, and I just thought, man, like, he springs back. What? That whole.
Maybe want some pickles too.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. And then Taz is just
like, I don't want a pickle. Eat a pickle.
Taz was just laughing about it, like, oh god, dicks.
But yeah, that's so we get that segment, and next we get Adam Cole, baby, the one who I do think is going to be the one that's going to take MJF's title down the road. But he comes in the ring, calls out Jericho. Obviously, Jericho comes on the screen. I'm not coming out there, but my boys are. And they do. They come out to the ring and jump Adam Cole, getting the beat down. And then here's the little sprinkling of earlier. Orange Cassidy and Bandito come out to make the save. Fantastic. I popped up and was like, oh, this is so cool. I loved it. But numbers game get to them. They get beat. And then from what I am understanding is the biggest surprise to the WWE locker room that's happened in a long time, Roderick Strong shows up to make the save. Ah, man, I did not see, talk about secret, I was so surprised. Usually you kind of get,
yeah.
I'd never called this. I never saw this coming. Wasn't even on my radar as a possibility. I thought maybe, not Bobby Fish, the other one. Oh my gosh, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish. Oh, who's the other?
Code Red.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep.
I thought maybe it was going to be Kyle O'Reilly would come back. I did not see Roderick Strong coming. And bam, what a pop. And it's funny because it was like a slow pop. It was like, who?
Wait a minute.
Wait. Oh my God.
When I saw the background, I was like, this doesn't. And, obviously the WWE they used during his era, they used more of like the neon blue for the logo and the diamond mine and everything. And, he's got a very, very long history with ROH. So I think that was, honestly, I thought it was a good piece of business putting, and Kyle O'Reilly, I want to say he was with AEW. He showed up at some point.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly is. He's all elite.
They were the
Undisputed Elite.
Undisputed. So getting him back on the screen, I think would be a lot of fun. Maybe not Fish, but
yeah, Fish I think is doing Impact now or something, but he kind of left on bad terms anyway. But yeah, I could see Kyle O'Reilly coming. Kyle O'Reilly was on one of the All Accesses and talking about how he's still recovering from, I guess he had some pretty significant neck surgery. So,
oh wow,
he's still recovering from that. But yeah, now we've got
recovery to you, man. He's a diabetic, manages it, does he's a awesome role model to people that are just playing the cards that they were dealt, and has had a great career and just a phenomenal ground and pounder, mixed martial artist as well. So yeah, that'd be a lot of fun to see, to see them reunite. But yeah, I thought it was funny, out comes Bandito, out comes Freshly Squeezed, and that he looked crisp too. He hasn't been in the ring for a while too.
Yeah, and
so it's good to see him.
According to all reports, people in WWE thought he was still working there. He's still on their roster page, or he was as of this morning or yesterday. So it's curious. But yeah, so good stuff. I really enjoyed I popped for Strong. I think it's great. I think you were setting back up the Undisputed Elite, which is good. Gives some more factions.
Yeah, there you go.
Then this is the one I've been dying to hear what you think. We get Jade Cargill, Taya Valkyrie. You have been salivating over this match since Taya got announced. What did you think of it?
So I love the entrance. I thought it was fantastic. She is so smooth, and I was like, okay, it's okay. She's got a couple other finishers. Everything's going to be okay. Jade comes out, looks fantastic, looks like a champion. Just like, I didn't see one single flaw. The crowd was into it. That entrance when Jade was coming down, you could really tell she was the heel and they were letting her hear it. And then they started doing the work. Taya seemed like within a couple of minutes, she was like half a step off. And I was like, okay, maybe she didn't realize that she had to slow down a little bit for Jade because this is like Jade's 50th match or something. So she doesn't have a lot of mat time. And when she went to hit, she finally was just like, she goes to hit the Road to Valhalla. And instead of like getting space and then hitting her, with one of her other moves, she's got a move that's similar to the chick kick and some other ones, like it looks like a blue thunderbomb. She just stands there, gets rolled up and pinned. I was like, are you freaking serious? This is Taya Valkyrie. Not that Jade isn't marketable and doing great, improves every single week, but I don't know how to feel. I was as a huge Taya fan, I was really, really disappointed, and it was a dumb stipulation, and here we are.
This was one of those that really disappointed me. I see it's basic booking. You're setting up a rematch and blah blah blah. So you'll probably get Ty and Jade at the pay-per-view, and I'm sure Ty will go over and probably win the belt. But this was not a good showing. I was not impressed. I mean, there was some good, like you said, they just didn't have the chemistry I was hoping they would have. And I don't know whether it's kind of like you said, did Ty go in not realizing how green Jade was on some of this stuff and realizing how much she was going to kind of have to carry it? But you would think, behind the curtains a little bit, they'd have been practicing some together or something. So yeah, it was disappointing. I don't have much more to say than what you just said. I was
super bummed. Like Smart Mark is out there, doing his thing. The ref is like, don't do this. You're going to get disqualified, blah, blah, blah. I would have rather Taya get so upset. She's like, forget it. Bam.
Yeah, and get DQ'd.
She gets DQ'd. She still takes an L. She still looks strong. And, Jade still leaves the champ, and it's a loss, but she didn't get pinned. So it doesn't make her look weak. So I don't know, man. I was really bummed, and I rewound it and was like, what? What?
Yeah, it felt like a nothing match. I don't think there wasn't any spots that I was over the top on. I was disappointed in it.
It was like Vince booked that match because you're doing some 50-50 stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you get the backstage with Jamie Hayter, and basically Jamie Hayter says the only way that the heels are going to be done with her is if they put her and Britt Baker in the morgue. So I'm assuming we're setting up. Yeah, man, Jamie Hayter. She's a good champ. I just wish they'd start focusing more on the champ stuff. Let her, she went on a run, defended her title every week, Riho and all these people, and now she's so focused on this. Tony Khan's got too many people on his roster. I cannot wait for Collision. Just to make it easy, because where's the House of Black been? Where are our trios champions? Now, I also understand that is one of the appeals of AEW is the fact that the guys don't really work a full-time schedule. They can work, I think I heard Moxley say it on Renee Paquette that they are home. They work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which I'm like, that's not a bad schedule considering WWE you're on all the time. And then I've also heard that they kind of can go for 3 weeks and then take a couple weeks off and they flex, which is fine. I think it's great for the talent. However, as fans, I'm sitting here going, wait, where's the House of Black? Weren't they feuding with the JAS? Where are our champions? So it's interesting. Yeah, I think Collision's going to help part, if not all, of some of these issues, I think.
So you mentioned JAS, and we did one of our bits before where we said, yeah, we've got a Jericho problem. And we talked about how, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, we're going to fantasy book this, give me the pencil, and the JAS is going to break up because Jericho is going to take the L. And then you look, and now Stark is sort of almost in a feud, which is kind of confusing who he's buddying up with. And then you have Jericho, who's now back hooked up with who should be a main event guy, and JAS is still running rampant, almost as strong, if not stronger than they were. And go on your tour, man. Like, break up the JAS. I think that would help the tag team division because you'd get another tag team. Slater could go be, someone who's competing for that TNT championship. But yeah, you've got Jericho hooking his wagon to baby, and that's gonna drag out for who knows how long.
Well, that being said, though, I'm into this feud between the two of them, and I think the match is gonna be amazing. So I agree. But I don't think this is going to be like the other ones. I think this will be over at Double or Nothing. They'll run it through there. But I'm into this feud. I think the Heat segment last week heated it up pretty good. Yeah, I'm okay with this one.
And now that I'm saying it out, so Jericho didn't take as much screen time this week as he normally does. So that was a much less of a sports entertaining. His guys got some screen time, got to put in some work, got to show their characters a little bit. So, but yeah, as long as we can get in and out of this feud, advance Jericho's character in another direction, give Adam Cole some shine and momentum, maybe not going into the Owen Cup because I don't think you should have back-to-back winners of the Owen Cup. Then he starts his next, whatever his next program is going to be.
I think Cole finishes up with fantasy booking ahead. I think Cole finishes up with Jericho and then rolls into something with MJF.
That quick?
Yeah, because so we're at what? So Double or Nothing is in May. Next pay-per-view would be, well, maybe not. Because maybe they'll do something for Forbidden Door and All In, and then All Out right after it. So that's May, June, July, August. Yeah, it could be, come September time, he could be rolling into that because the War of 24 is supposed to be January 1st.
Yeah.
So you're talking September. So you build them a pretty good feud September, October, and I forget what pay-per-view it is in November or whatever it is. You build up that, I could see him being the one to take it right at the last pay-per-view of the year. Maybe slow burn right now.
Yeah.
Like slow burn it, but
yeah, hint to have some interaction backstage or so here's what you do. You keep MJF talking smack about Britt not being a pillar. And it gets to the point where Adam Cole's just tired of hearing about it. Then him, Roderick Strong have a tag team match with MJF and theoretically it'd be Sammy Guevara. And, whatever happens with that, then that kind of goes away. Maybe Adam Cole and Guevara do a program, and that elevates both of them. They have a blow-off, and Guevara then goes into a program with one of the other pillars again, and then Cole takes the title off, and now one of the other pillars is now chasing. And then out of nowhere, MJF shows back up after the first of the year when everybody was like, the War for 24, and now he's been gone. And that's this is terrible that I'm saying this out loud. QTV starts reporting that MJF was reportedly seen in Connecticut or in New York or in the same city where the WWE was doing a show. And then he shows up at a pay-per-view. That intro song, when his music hits, you're like, let's go. So that'd be funny.
I think you could do it. I think if Tony Khan's got it set up, if it's not going to be Adam Cole, is it going to be a returning CM Punk? Good God, give that guy the third title 3 times in a row.
No, because he'll be over on
never
Collision.
Officially lost. He's just been stripped every time.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Do you build Takeshita up and have Takeshita take it? I just don't know of another babyface that would be a good. My only concern with Adam Cole doing it is I think it should be one of the AEW originals. I think it should be someone like Sammy or someone because I think War for 24, it should be somebody who no, I'm with this company till the end, takes it. But who knows?
What about Orange Cassidy drops the international title because of something that MJF was trying to do? No, that would
Orange would be really good at.
It would be.
I would
good,
take an Orange Cassidy MJF feud.
It would be good, but it might be a bridge too far because now you've got to separate him from the current pillar program where he comes out almost unscathed, and now.
Well, you do that by having him just win clean at Double or Nothing. Wrap this pillar thing up at Double or Nothing. He wins clean, so there's no back and forth. Or you don't even have him win there. Maybe he wins. And then you could set up the next pay-per-view with Darby and him. Or, you could set up with a couple more of the spin-offs maybe.
Or maybe, so the 3 other pillars during the match start infighting, which gives MJF the opportunity whether he wins by count out or DQ or whatever wonky finish, they have another match where the other 3 pillars have to win a match to go back, have a rematch with MJF. MJF wins that, and that somehow affects what Orange Cassidy's trying to do. They jump into a program because Orange Cassidy is the AEW World Champion. Phew, how much merch would that dude sell everywhere you go? Wow, that would be.
And to be honest with you, the way AEW does it, it could be something as easy as Orange is backstage doing one of his, "Are you interviewing me?" No. And then MJF just pushes him out of the way. And then, okay, now Orange is pissed, so now we got him. Like, they could do something like that and quickly turn that program on.
That's true.
But then we get to the main event, man.
Oof. Oof.
Ooh. Oof. We have Takeshita and Kenny Omega versus the Butcher and the Blade.
Man.
Wow. Talk about ending the show on a high for me. Well, a high / boo / whatever. It was a good way to end the show in my opinion.
It was a pretty emotional roller coaster because last week or 2 weeks ago, you see Butcher and the Blade. You guys think you're bad. We're going to kick your ass. Both of them have like completely transformed their bodies. Their gear looks great. Penelope, or Bunny, was out there, which is good to see her. Her and Penelope have been going back and forth on some injuries, so it was good to see that. And yeah, man, like, whew, that's man.
Yeah, it was Omega, man. Like, he knows what he's doing. He might be pretty good at this stuff, but
he might have a future.
He might have a future in this business. It was just the way he made the hot tags to Takeshita feel so important. It was like, oh, and everybody pops for Takeshita. It was a fantastic match. I did like Brian Danielson on commentary, just ripping the Elite apart, like they're living on their past laurels and just a bunch of amateurs in the ring and this and that. And I was like, all right, cool. And it was so good, man. The Omega and Takeshita pile driver to the knees on Butcher for the win. Like, what? Like, that whole finishing sequence was fantastic. But obviously, so Takeshita and Omega win. Then out comes the Blackpool Combat Club. Obviously, numbers game, but they didn't get all the way to the ring because the Young Bucks show up and take them out. So then they kind of get the advantage, get in the ring. Now they've got which I was surprised the Butcher and Blade didn't jump in and help Blackpool Combat Club, but I'm okay with it too. Like, we don't need more mess in this. Like, they lost, walk away, cool. But as far as like villains for hire, although I also see the BCC not really using them. Anyway, so you get the beatdown and the Elite get the advantage, and they're about to, stab old boy in the head with the screwdriver, and got Moxley held down. Takeshita gets in, no, don't do it. I'm like, oh.
Please don't. I'm like.
All right, respectful, don't do this, no reason to the injury. So yeah, he goes to stab him, and Takeshita, no, don't do it. And I love Danielson. That's right, Takeshita should be in the BCC. So now, obviously the BCC gets the advantage and beat everybody down, and everybody's outside the ring, and Takeshita's standing with the BCC. All right, like, we all kind of saw maybe this could be the turn coming. Nope, Yuta just low blows him, and then they stab him in the head. I was like, whoa, all right, what are we doing here?
Man. I was like, wait a minute, him and the BCC, okay, taking a fresh meat babyface, making him a heel, putting him through the ringer, and then just to see, I was not prepared for. I didn't see him be the one to take the brunt. I thought it would be Omega or one of the Bucks or something, but I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting Takeshita to. Shoo, poor guy.
So I didn't see Takeshita doing the heel turn. I mean, I could see it because the Blackpool Combat Club has always said that they want to take people they respected, and you have to bleed with them. And he's had wars with Omega. He's had with Moxley. He's had really good matches with Danielson. So he's been there with everybody. So maybe they take him in. But yeah, like you said, he's such an over babyface that it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And then they turned on him like, all right. But now I'm going, okay, but what now? Like, so now Takeshi's obviously going to be with the Elite. The numbers games are wonky. I'm just waiting for Ibushi to show up. Like, give me the golden Elite. Like, that's what I hope this is turning into.
Yeah.
But no Hangman again. So I'm guessing the stabbing him in the eye took him out for quite a while. So no Pirate Hangman yet. But yar. But we shall see where this goes, man. Pretty hot storyline with these 4, 8, 6, 12, however many there are in it now. So yeah, that's how it ended the show. So I ended the show on that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. It was a good segment. There was stuff in it, and I'm gonna let you do your rating first because I'm still on the fence.
Yeah. So as I was watching, what is the, what's the motive? What's the motivation? What's the, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You can't make anybody if you don't beat anybody. You didn't really beat anybody if you didn't make someone. And I'm so storyline driven and monthly pay-per-view minded that I'm basically a microwave wrestling fan because I need a payoff every month. So sitting there, I was like, okay, what did I like about the show? I didn't really care for the crowd, so I didn't like that part. I love Renee Paquette and RJ City, the backstage scenes. Loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought the ending was fantastic, and the sort of the groundwork for next week. So now you're going to see Jay Lethal against Wheeler. So I was like, okay, that's cool, because if you see one half of the tag team, you're going to see the other half next week. So I was like, okay, I think that'll be a lot better than this match. But yeah, it was just you didn't see the women's champion. You only saw the men's champion because he was doing a promo. The TNT champion had a squash match. You didn't see the tag team titles defended. And you're over here building up for a pay-per-view. And then I thought to myself, well, it's like WrestleMania. It's going to sell itself because it's AEW. It's MJF is over here talking about, here's the main event. So, and I also liked the Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin match. So I'm like, okay. But it's I liked the ending. I liked the backstage stuff. And I liked one other match. It was only 2 hours, so it didn't eat me for an extra hour, and all of that. And, it advanced a little bit of the storyline, sprinkled some other stuff. You got to see a little bit of character work with Bandito as well. And Orange Cassidy got to show, some a little more of his character. So, yeah, so I went with Three Beards, and I thought it was a show that didn't feel like a piece of business. It was a show, and they didn't play to the crowd, which they played to the masses. And so I thought it was fun.
Yeah, sitting here listening to you go through it, and as I'm going through it in my head, I'm going 3-2. I've been teetering. I was teetering between 2 and 3, 2.5 and 3, just because I do hold AEW to kind of a higher standard. CJ Stroud, by the way, is who the text picked up.
There it is.
So I do hold AEW to a little bit of a higher standard. So usually I try to be fair when I judge them, but I'm going 3 for almost all the same things you mentioned. I really enjoyed the final match. I really enjoyed the storyline with that. Loved some of the backstage stuff. Was disappointed in some of the other in-ring action. Was disappointed in the Ty Valkyrie match.
Oh, but God, so upsetting. Yeah, I almost was. I almost was going to use a lifeline and see if we get a couple shows a year where we don't have to vote. But yeah, if Taya, and it didn't even need to be Taya winning, because I think her winning a championship on a pay-per-view in Canada, she's Canadian, I think that would have been really cool.
Oh, that's a good point.
So if so I thought, okay, well, I didn't think Taya was going to win today.
Winner.
Ooh, that'd be hot. But I think she's going to win.
Now that you said that.
So I think she's going to win the title at Forbidden Door, and that way you're in Canada, you win the championship. But yeah, I wouldn't.
Rumor is Statlander's coming back soon too.
So she'll be your Collision World Champion. AEW Draft. Collision is on the clock. Collision general manager comes up with the first pick of the draft. Collision chooses CM Punk. Second pick of the draft, Dynamite chooses whoever, MJF. And yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, either Omega or MJF, because you already know that you're not going to have them on the team. Third pick would be Statlander. She would be the Collision Ladies Champion, and I just hope she can stay healthy. Man, I love that little boop. I think that's so cool. So, but yeah, man. So there it is. 3 beards for the AEW Dynamite by the dynamic duo of your sports entertainment wrestling talk. Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on the socials at No Shave Man Cave, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you want to get your social media fix addiction filled. We are very active on Twitter, so we'd like to see interaction with our fans there. Please hit us up. Again, let us know what you think about this show. And don't forget to give us those ratings and subscriptions wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get it. Hit us up, give us a subscribe so you don't miss these daily shows that come out where we review, talk about, discuss WWE, AEW, usually sprinkle in some Impact now. Sprinkle some Impact, New Japan, Stardom, whatever it is. Maybe we'll talk some football drafts. Maybe we'll talk some bourbon and barbecue.
There it is.
A little bit of everything, but hit us up. You don't want to miss a show. With that, it's time for the hot tag.
Bump and feed. Well, hey, JT, thanks for running down the card to the boys and girls in the back at AEW. Thank you for a fun show. And yeah, absolutely. To our brothers and sisters in arms, thank you so much for your service. And to our fans everywhere, right now we are worldwide. It's super, super fun to see what countries are popping up on our follows. So keep that coming. Super happy. We're starting to get a little more active in Slack and Rumble. So come check us out, see what's good. And to our YouTube faithful, we're getting more subscriptions, more follows, more watches, more likes on our shorts and our other videos. So come check it out. You know you're going to find me on YouTube talking about Lucha Underground. So until next time, my friends, my fam, the faithful of the No Shave Man Cave, thank you for joining us here today. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the No Shave Men Cave.